Hello, Gemini. This is Lee at Fresh Astrology. Welcome to our October 2019 forecast. Before we get started, I want to let you know that my old website is shut down and I have a new website. It's leesears.com. I'll put the link below. But I also am a coach, so I'm combining under my name. But at leesears.com, you can find my astrology membership lounge where it's a paid monthly membership. It's $8.99 per month, so it's very affordable. And there you'll get more in-depth readings. You'll get them before I do the YouTube readings here. And I'll have a lot of extra content, some weekly forecasting. There are monthly drawings for a free reading with me that we'll do live in front of members in the membership lounge, and also some basic astrology content, teaching and learning astrology. So come join us there at leesears.com. And as for your forecast, I'm looking at October in terms of the top three things. I usually, as you know, like to narrow down and kind of, get to the heart of what I think is going on. And it looks like there are three major areas that I see in October. And for you guys, well, it's for everybody. But wait a second. My screen just flipped off. Let's see. Here we go. Ah! I don't know what just happened. Hang on a second. I had it set for Gemini and it jumped to Aries. I'm not even sure how that happened. Let's get it back. And the beauty of doing so, if you don't know, you are watching a live forecast. So that means you could try commenting and asking me a question. But if you watch it later, just know when I do this live, there's no editing. It's very, it's a little more rustic. But if you're here while I'm here, you can ask me live questions. And that's the benefit of it. So, Gemini, generally speaking, this time of Libra as we start the month of October is good for you. It's, Libra's a fellow air sign. So, you vibe well with this kind of energy that's going into your fifth house area. The fifth house is one of the most fun areas of the chart. It's filled with more joy and light and playfulness and creativity and romance. Usually we have a lot of optimism and optimism in this house. It's an optimistic area. And Libra kind of lives in that space too, at Libra's best. And so, it's been a time of year. Some of it's starting to fade into Scorpio, but you've got the sun, you've got Venus. Mercury, as of today, has moved on into Scorpio. But then we have Mars poised and coming in. And Mars will be in here, bringing a lot of energy to this fifth house area. So if you have children, there could be a lot of focus there. And you might feel very energized to do whatever you need to do with your kids. And it's also about having children. If you want to conceive or give birth, this is a great time for that. You could, I sometimes in the chart of parents who are wanting to have a child, this is when that Mars energy comes and can be like signifying the little spirit coming in. And it could be a little Aries, it could be a little boy, or just somebody with a lot of, Mars energy coming in, whoosh, and it's a good time to conceive and certainly to give birth to, because the next house that's lit up is the sixth house of, where your health stuff is going on. So it's an interesting time if you're in that phase of life. If you have older kids, it just, could be some focus there, some stuff going on with your kids. not bad. It's a time when you tend to focus on them, and it feels more fun. Like you're more into it at this time of year. Your energy is up around this area. If there are no kids at all, then it could be about romance. It's definitely a time when things can start. So for the average Gemini, this is a great startup time for a creative project, a romance, um, you know, any kind of hobby or even a startup company, like a business idea. So anything you want to start and create, and that includes romance. Uh, it's a great time of new starts there. So it's a fun time of year. And then the other thing about Libra is there's this balance thing going on. So for you, there's this teeter-totter kind of balance thing going on. It goes on beyond the month of October, but it's more, I think the way you're interpreting it now is the need to balance fun and the joy of living with work and money concerns. So it's actually kind of fun for you, I think. It's how do I work and make the money I want to make and deal with any fears I have around money? How do I do all that? How do I figure out what I want to do for the rest of my life? But not obsessing there, where I think a lot of Geminis have tended to obsess on larger financial issues and work, and with a little bit of fear. There are also some big, powerful things a lot of you want to do. You want to conquer the world. You want to get really rich. Some of you, and some of you it may be a property, like you're moving. You may have sold a property, maybe buying a property. It may be a new lease, but there could be a move coming up for many Geminis. But I think there's a tendency to live in a little bit of fear around money. And that may be something that it's hard to admit to yourself. Maybe you're like, oh, yeah, totally. I'm totally fearful around money. But then some of you, it may be a little hidden or compartmentalized, and you may not see it as clearly. But there definitely has been kind of an obsession with money, a fear around money, but there's also interesting, like a power around money. I think a lot of Geminis are actually amassing money, maybe developing big savings or big retirement accounts, or finding like a power and empowerment in their finances. So I think for a lot of Geminis, it's a great time in your finances. Tell me where I'm wrong. I mean, some of you, certainly with Pluto and Saturn, if you're not using your Saturn skills of discipline, good boundaries, that means not spending and spending and spending, being judicious, going slow with your money decisions, i.e. Saturn and Pluto, looking at the long term, what you want long term and making decisions based on that. If you're using the strengths of Pluto and Saturn to help you with your money, then a lot of you are getting quite wealthy and maybe getting far more money than you ever thought you'd have. But of course, it can go the other way. If someone's really like, I don't care about Saturn, I don't care about Pluto, I want to spend my money, I don't want to save money, I don't need a job, I can just live off others. If you have some kind of unusual attitude that's kind of flaunting and flying in the face of Saturn wisdom and Pluto wisdom, then maybe you're getting burned, that there is that possibility for some of you. But the North Node is down in your second house, and it's got a message too. It's kind of saying, don't stay too stuck in this eighth house arena of gaining money power, or money fears, or maybe too much kind of, some of you could be a little too pinch penny, like a little too cheap for your own good somehow. Maybe you need to invest that money in some beautiful things in your world, or maybe you want to use that money to nurture yourself and others. Maybe you want to pour money into a business or something. So I'd have to really, it's a very personal thing, and it's going to go different ways with different people, but that's where the balance is coming in this month. And then the other big theme is, even from the get-go, even though we have the sun in Libra at the beginning of the month, there's just a strong preponderance of Scorpio and Pluto energy this month. There's just a month that's vibing that way, even though we have some Libra energy going on too. It just has a very Scorpio Pluto feel. So in your chart, that means sixth house of health and your daily schedule, your work life is impacted. It also means that eighth house again. So if they're working together, if both those houses are lit up, let's think about that. There could be somebody who's not doing well physically or mentally. There could be somebody, I don't think it's you when it's like this. I don't think it's you, but somebody could be having, I want to say it's more in a mental wellness question. Like, where is this person on the spectrum of mentally ill versus mentally well? And it looks like you're involved somehow with their care. So it could be a friend where you're just checking in on them. It could be a child. It could be a parent. But there's somebody who maybe goes back and forth in their moods, and it doesn't look like a huge concern, but it looks like it's a part of your life. And I don't know, and it could be more than one person, with Mercury and with Uranus. See, what's happening is across the kind of axis of your chart between health and mental health, you've got two planets that vibe similarly, especially when they're together in a relationship as they are this month. So you've got Mercury and Uranus making each one stronger. And so you're watching somebody who maybe has an anxiety thing or moods that swing. There's something going on there. And, maybe especially if you're responsible for them, you may be thinking about money or how to get therapy for them or help. So let's take the health out of it. Let's take that other person out of the picture. It could also be you. It could also be you, Gemini, who are experiencing some mood swings, some highs and lows, a little bit of anxiety about work, about money, and maybe even about relationship issues. Even if it's happy stuff like getting engaged, getting married, there could be some anxiety there. And anxiety is a part of our normal makeup. We all have the capacity for anxiety. There are going to be times in our life where it's more pronounced, times when it's less pronounced. It doesn't mean we have like a mental condition just because we're anxious. And anxiety can fluctuate, can come and go. And so this is a time, something about this month, it's a little heightened. It may be something to do with a new job or a new role, or thinking. Yeah, it looks like it could be relationship oriented or maybe job oriented, but I think it's more likely it's money and relationships. I think those are the bigger things that are causing some highs and lows. And it's important, like I work with a lot of people around their emotions, and it's important to feel, and if you want to feel the good stuff, sometimes you have to be willing to have those low moments too. You don't want to just be even keeled all the time, because then you're not experiencing the really buoyant, upbeat emotion. So there's nothing wrong with having some swings of emotions. It means you're alive and you're feeling, and that's normal. That's good. It's worse. It would be far worse if I reported to you, you're not going to experience any highs or lows. You're just going to be even keeled all month. Like, Same, 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 same. That's like a hell for a Gemini. That's a personal hell for Gemini. You need to kind of flitter and flutter around like a butterfly or a bird. You need that. So Geminis need a little drama, just a little. It keeps you interested in life. Whereas if it's just same, 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 even though that means there are no lows or there's no sadness, it would just be a personal hell for you because it would just be so uninteresting. Then the final thing, the third thing is your patron planet Mercury is very prominent this month. It's mid-month. It's going to be getting into the shadow of a Mercury retrograde and building up to Halloween, which is when we have a Mercury retrograde. And then around that same time, we have a Scorpio new moon. So let's see what that means for you. I mean, it's really rethinking, something to do with, there could be some rethinking around your daily schedule and what works for you. So there could be a job decision, some kind of decision you're going to make around your daily work, or just your scheduling, how you schedule yourself to maybe better take care of yourself so you don't, because sometimes anxiety, you just need to go run or go to the gym or swim or do something physical. So maybe there's something like that. Or maybe if you're on some kind of health plan, like a diet or some wellness plan, something you're doing every day, do you need to rethink it? It's also here, sometimes it may be people in your life. Are you surrounded by the best people for you? Are there some people who surround you who throw you off balance, where you don't feel good being around them a lot? Maybe you can be around them a little, but you can't be around them a lot. And how do you put up some good boundaries, some healthy boundaries? So you may be thinking a lot about that. Like, I like you, I want to be around you, like, especially if it's a family member, but I need some boundaries here. So you may be reworking, rethinking some of that stuff. So that is pretty much your month. And Karen Chang says, I missed it. Oh, did you just get here? Hi. Can you tell us, so remember we're live so people can chat. Can you tell us, what does Pluto and Saturn in our 8th house mean? Yeah, okay. Well, we did go over that a lot. Briefly, it has to do with, so you can go back and watch, like this will be saved to my channel. But briefly, it just means that you're both a little fearful and obsessed around your money situation and even some relationship issues possibly. So you have a lot of fear here, but you also are developing a lot of power and strength around how you manage money and deal with money. So there's kind of a progression of growth going on here. Yeah, money situation, yes. So go back and watch, because I go into a lot of detail. I can't repeat, but yeah, money, dealing with. Good. So you're right on target with your astrology. But yeah, I invite you to go listen, but that's exactly what it means. And it doesn't mean any one thing for all Geminis or even for you. There could be a variety of things going on here, but mostly it's your fears and power issues around your money and coming to terms with that. But you've been in a slow progression since 2009, when maybe some devastating things happen or really scary things happen. And you've been dealing with, okay, now what? How do I grow from all this? How do I grow through this situation and get stronger, is really how the story wants to unfold. All right, guys, take it easy, and I'll talk to you soon.